Okay, so I have built the saving e-newsletter coupon code into this. So once you land on this page, if you use the link where the coupon code is built in to the end bit, you'll see it in the e-newsletter. You can either click learn more, it will take you down to the bottom of the page, but have a scroll, see what's happening. Now this one with the Super 7, I'm doing a beta test for this one. So very much in the same way that I tested the breakthrough session and combining the Huna and access consciousness. My God, that must have been a good about 10 years ago. So I did it for half price. This one, similar, it's more than half price off. But what I want to do is test this out and see, the order, the sequence, what works best. Do I want to do it in the flow that I have outlined? So what we've got here is a combination of 7 different modalities. My thinking is, first of all, we're going to start with the soul plan diagnostic. It's also going to include some Huna and the reason, let me just say, we start with the soul plan diagnostic. It's very good for getting to the root cause, the limiting beliefs, which are specific to you and your birth name. So for those of you who've done the soul plan before, you'll know what I mean. But for example, we're talking about your worldly challenges, your worldly talents, your spiritual talents, your gifts, your soul destiny. And with each of those aspects of your particular soul plan, there will be very specific limiting beliefs and challenges that are highlighted. So that's going to be a much quicker way, I think, than doing the kind of talk therapy thing where we're kind of getting to the root cause. What this does is it means that we kind of leapfrog that and we go to what it is specifically for you. And the reason I'm going to do that is oftentimes when people see their soul plan, number one, it resonates. They're like, oh my God, that's my whole life laid out on 5 sheets of paper. But more importantly, what it often does is I will read one of the limiting belief statements, or the client is going through the challenges, and it just hits them like a ton of bricks where they're like, wow, I wouldn't have thought that. I wouldn't have been able to articulate that, but that hits the nail on the head. So that's going to be, I think, a really fantastic way to start. We'll, of course, do the favorite, Huna. um, the Huna energy clearing. I'm thinking for this one, because we're not doing like a past life regression or a retrospective timeline therapy piece. The timeline therapy comes as a future pace. So I thought what a good way to do that would be the Ho'oponopono, because we can bring in the genealogical, the ancestral, and the current life challenges as well into that. And this isn't what I call the social media version. I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me, thank you, which is lovely. This is the full on version of Ho'oponopono that I was taught when I went out to study in Hawaii. So we have the stage, we have the Arca connections, we have the Avaiku, we have the higher self, and it's the bells and whistles version, as I call it. We're also going to incorporate timeline therapy, FLP, and tarot. The reason I've kind of put those together just in terms of this graphic is because this is going to be the future pace bit. So once we've done the diagnostic, once we've done the clearing piece, so we're going to do some NLP with regards to that as well. We're going to do the access consciousness, energy clearings, and belief change work. Once we've actually done that, and the Ho'oponopono, the genealogy, the ancestry, the forgiveness process, we'll do the NLP reframe and reset strategy. Once we've kind of cleared the deck, cleaned the slate, if you want to put it in those terms, we then future pace. Okay, what are the strategies you can now put in your future timeline? We'll do a future life progression piece that takes you out into the future to meet the ultimate best version of you, get some strategies, bring those back into now. For those of you who have heard me talk about FLP before, you'll probably recall the thing with the client that I did, for example, where number one, they were sort of complaining, going, oh, these things never work for me, I'm not visual, da 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 da. And I said, yeah, fine, do it, we'll complain about it afterwards. And there's a point in the process where the client says, oh, I can see a man walking towards me, he's wearing a black suit. Then they stopped and corrected themselves, and they said, no, it's deep blue. At which point I'm trying to stifle my laughter, because this is the person who 10 minutes before had been telling me it doesn't work because they can't visualize, and now they're correcting themselves in terms of color schemes, which was fantastic. And then, he's wearing the kind of the particular colored tie, the handkerchief, the shiny shoes. His name was Paul, worked with high net worth individuals, so very specific. And I was writing it down, making notes. About 2 weeks later, I get a very late night. You can tell how long ago this was now. It was on the BlackBerry. So I was actually just about to turn my BlackBerry off and go up to bed. And a message comes through saying, "Can you check your notes?" And there's like 20 exclamation marks. So of course, I'm curious. So I opened the message and she said, "I've just been to a networking event. I met a man." Not in that way. She was speaking as usual. The crowd is blown away. I did some, and the backstory to that is I did some work with them around their public speaking, presenting, because they'd been invited to do a TED talk, and they said they were petrified. So we did some work around that, and they are one of the best speakers now I've ever seen. They've just been awarded an MBE for their services to their industry. They got that last year. If you're listening to this in real time. So she had been speaking, of course, audience is blown away. She said this person made a beeline for her. It's like the parting of the waves is how she described it. She said the first thing she noticed was the black shiny shoes, because she's seen them before in the FLP, Future Life Progression session. She then works her way upward. She sees the color of the suit. It's the same deep blue. The color of the tie and the handkerchief in the suit pocket, breast pocket, exactly the same. He extended his hand and he said his name was Paul. So the reason she was messaging me, she said, "What did the person in the Future Life Progression say their name was? Was it Paul?" So by that time I'd gone upstairs. So I came back down, opened my black and red notebook, because I'd written notes, I'd written down his name. So I took a photograph of the notebook and it very clearly said Paul. So I sent that back. Now I'm intrigued. About an hour and a half or so later, they get home. Now, Paul had given her a business card, very plain, just a couple of words on it, but didn't really say very much. So she gets home, looks at the website. Now, recall, I'm just going to take you back a step. One of the things that my client has said is she wants to work with high net worth individuals, because she was creating a startup, looking for funding, angel investors, all that sort of thing. So she gets home. This must have been now pushing on to, I don't know, after midnight, 1 a.m., something like that. Gets home, goes to his website, and, it said, "My name is Paul, whatever, that little line that was on the business card." And then it said the magic words, "I work with high net worth individuals." I think at that point we were both in our respective locations like, whoa. Just amazing, absolutely amazing. So you're going to go out into, and these are one-to-one sessions, of course. So you're going to go out into your future with the FLP process, meet the ultimate best version of you, get a strategy, and there's a process where your FLP version of you will give you a gift as well. That's always really fascinating in terms of what people bring back. And then I thought we would close with some tarot. And we'll do almost like a confirmation session, and then a card for the future. That's always amazing. I don't know if you'll be able to read the text on this one, but it says, "Oh my God, this is the Tarot Tuesday. Oh my God, this is so spot on. Good job, I'm lying down. 1,000,000% spot on." So the tarot is always pretty mind blowing. So this is a little snapshot. Part 1, the soul plan diagnostic, the Huna Ho'oponopono, access consciousness, belief change session. Part 2 of the Super 7 is we'll do some Huna energy clearing with this one. We'll do the genealogy and ancestry, the NLP reframe and reset strategy session. And then part 3 is the future pace with the timeline therapy, for putting a goal out in your timeline, the FLP, and the tarot reading. Now, if you wanted a little flavor of maybe some of the ideas and things that we might be touching on, and also if there are a particular area that you wanted to focus on, you have a challenge, I've included links to some of the articles that I've written, which may come up in terms of some of the issues. One is about manifestation, the dark side of manifestation. So I did that last week for Happy Fall magazine. One for Optimist Daily. This was how to deal with bad news. So if you've had a setback, for example, that might be the thing you want to focus on. So some experts, of which I'm one, shared some ways that you can deal with that. This is a piece that I did for Forbes magazine in terms of microaggression. So if you've maybe been experiencing that at work, for example, you may have a bullying boss, or you're having challenges with the team, that might be a good one for you to have a look at. and this is one from the Chartered Management Institute. So let's just say perhaps you're running a team or part of a team, and it's about organizational culture, because I know people will be coming at this from different standpoints. That's one you can read there from the CMI. So where this is one where I've built in the promo code already, so you don't need to put it in. I've also added some FAQs here. So these are toggle keys. So you just click here and it will open up. So when is the Super 7 session? Where does it take place? It's online. How long? I'm saying about I'm going to be asking people to set aside about 5 hours. So it's almost a day. Which modalities are included? So I've included all of them here: the soul plan diagnostic, access to number 2, access consciousness, number 3, the Ho'oponopono, number 4, NLP, reframe and reset, number 5, timeline therapy, future pace, number 6, FLP, future life progression, receive a gift and guidance from the ultimate best version of you, and number 7, the tarot clarity reading, a closing session to gain additional confirmation and some future guidance. So that is that. I've talked about, kind of, because you have the option here, if you want to, you can upgrade. The 12-month transformation challenge is currently $297 if you wanted to book for the whole year, and that's coaching, support, accountability throughout the year. Because people often want to bundle things, so rather than just going, right, buy this and then buy that as well at the same price, what I've done, you've got a £200 saving. So if you wanted to add that to the cart, so let's come down here to the cart, you'll see it's already applied the 10% discount for e-newsletter subscribers. So it shows you what it would have been. It shows you what it is. That's in GBP. If you want to do the 12-month, and the reason I've kind of bundled these two together, this is going to be powerful. I know that because I did the Power of 4 a couple of years ago, where I put 4 modalities together. Last year, as in 2023, if you're watching this in real time, you might be watching this in 2029. So do the math. But last year I did the Super 7 as an online sort of automated. So I did, we did some live webinars with it, and now it's a recorded process. But I wanted to just get a sense of putting these modalities together, and that was really fantastic. So then I've decided then to take it forwards as the one-to-one session. So these are one-off sessions, work together for that day. Whoosh, change your life, off you go. What I actually thought, however, because for many of you, that's amazing, and you'll just be up and running and off you go. And for some, you like to have ongoing support, insight, motivation, inspiration, accountability. So that's why I've bundled this one. But if you're already doing the Super 7, then you don't need to then pay for the transformation challenge in full. The 12-month program, instead of $297, will be $97. So if you want that, what you would do, so if you look here, it says 402, click add cart. Now what it does, the discount, so let me do that again just so you can see. So discount is £44.70, which is your 10% off for being an e-newsletter subscriber. If I add click to cart, what it does is it makes the additional adjustments, so you then save £54.40, and it puts your total in there. But that's entirely optional. It's just if you wanted the additional support, accountability, all of that sort of thing. And the transformation challenge includes, you'll get some regular e-coaching processes via emails. There'll be the audio meditation. So I set, thinking of putting those onto an app. So that will be coming. Depends how many there are. If there are only a couple, then it's like, I'll just leave them as webinars. But if there's more than a half a dozen, let's say, throughout the year, which there probably will be, then I'll put those on the app. There'll be some cheat sheets, some infographics, so you have some quick reference guides. There'll be the live coaching sessions throughout the 12 months as well. I'll probably do some little video tips if anything comes up. Let's say there's an issue that several people are talking about in the group, or a particular challenge that I think will be relevant to everyone, then I'll probably do some quick audio tips or video tips. There's much more on the transformation challenge page, but for those of you who get my emails, you've probably seen it already. So that's optional. I haven't decided what testimonials to add yet, because I've got thousands of them. So what I will do later this week, or probably early next week, is I'll maybe choose a testimonial from each of those modalities, and one will go in there. So yeah, coming soon. And one of them could be you. Right, that's it. For those of you who are not on my e-newsletter list, let me tell you the URL. So I'll say it in, I'll then break it down a bit. It's marilyndevonish.thrivecart.com/super dash seven, as in the number seven, dash private dash session. Marilyn Devonish, MARILYN for Victor, ONISH. So Marilyn Devonish is all one word, .thrivecart, that's one word, .com, then /super -7 -private -session. And if you happen to be watching this on my Dub platform, I'll add a button underneath this which says, book Super 7 or something like that. And if you're on YouTube, I will add the link in the description. If you're on Facebook, it'll be in the description or in the comments. If you would like to join us, it'll be fantastic. It's going to be great fun. Less than the cup of a daily price of coffee. I checked because I don't drink tea or coffee, but I had a look the other day of and actually I didn't even need to have a look. I went out, had a meeting with one of my counsellor colleagues and bought whatever the coffee, matcha, whatever with the sprinkles on. And then I simply had a pot of herbal tea. And that was nearly £15. I mean, I nearly fainted and fell over, to be quite honest with you. But I'm like, what? but yeah, so I often say, when I work out the price of something, I'm like, yeah, that's less. And it's like I totally know now it is less than the price of a daily cup of coffee. So yeah, a bit of an online mind spa, some food for the soul, a unique combination, and some of those favorite modalities. So yeah, that's it. Just thought I'd give you a quick overview of what it is, how it all works. All right, I shall leave it there. I've just got to update the page. I'll be changing the pricing shortly as well. But yes, there you go. If you wanted a quick overview in terms of what it's all about, how it all works, and that is that. Easiest way to find out what's going on, particularly in real time, is go to my main website, transformationstm.com. That's TRANCE, F for Freddie, so FORMATIONS. TM as in trademark, so transformationstm.com. When you land on the website, there's a red watch new button, normally top right of the screen. Click that, a panel will slide out, have a little bit of a scroll, and you'll see the latest things that are coming up and happening. So this one is for the Super 7, the private online sessions. And for those of you who think, oh my gosh, online, I've been doing online coaching, online training, and online therapy since 2005. So that's nearly, oh my God, that's nearly 20 years now, 19 years. So all of the processes that I use are tried and tested for online. They're not just in response to the pandemic, pivot, lockdown, all of that sort of stuff. I've been doing this way before people thought it was possible to do this kind of stuff online. So it's all tried and tested. And if you know someone who could benefit from taking part in this, then please feel free to share this information with them. There are a limited number of spots because, of course, it takes a massive chunk of my time, and that's one thing I don't have very much of at the moment. So I'm going to limit this. I was going to limit it to 7 for the Suit 7. I always think of the late Len Goodman when I say that. So I'm probably going to do about 10 of these, and they will start in February, probably run to February, March, hopefully completed them by April, because after February, actually, my schedule gets a lot busier with what's happening with the councillor stuff, election time. So yes, the limited number of sessions, the limited price, 10% off for those of you on my e-newsletter list. So go for it and feel free to share if you know someone who could benefit from this. For those of you who have purchased gift vouchers, GIFT, not moving gifts. So for those of you who've purchased gift vouchers from me, you can use your gift vouchers for these as well, by all means, which means you can, depending on how many you've got, you can do it for free. All right. Catch you later. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Marilyn Devonish, the Neuro Success Coach, over and out.